Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of the program, Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We're going to be joined by JC here momentarily on the Titan More Hotline. Second part of the program, we're going to talk to Joe Cowart from 1010XL up in Jacksonville. Get some thoughts on him, on the Jaguars. He also is a radio voice of the PGA Tour. Just talk to him a little bit about what's going on in the world of golf as well, and get his thoughts on the Gators too. He's a Gator guy. See what he thinks of Billy Napier. He's been in the sports business for a long time. If you missed it last night, the Steelers lose to the Vikings. I saw the final score and I thought it was a misprint. It was like 36-28, something along those lines. I went to bed and it was like 26-0. And it was one of the worst football games I've ever seen, especially from a professional standpoint. I thought the Steelers are just garbage. They did something, I guess, late in the game to make it close. Also, some news and notes: the number one team in America, the Purdue Boilermakers, lose on a half-court shot by Ron Harper Jr. of Rutgers. So they were number one for a week, and no longer. That was the first time Purdue's ever been number one ever. And some sad news was Demaryius Thomas, former Bronco wide receiver, also played his college ball at Georgia Tech, was found dead at his home at age 33. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him as well. Gator basketball cranks up tomorrow, play Maryland. Maryland has an interim coach right now, Danny Manning. Their coach, I don't know if he got fired or he stepped down. Mark Turgeon is no longer the head coach of Maryland. I'm trying to pull up my comments here. Of course, Facebook is not working correctly as usual. All right, there. I think we're good now. But yeah, we'll be joined by JC. He and I will, I guess, we'll pick our Peach Lane Dentistry picks will be NFL and Army Navy. Rick says here he's got some scoop for us, brought to you by Melton Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Young Anderson Williams declared for NFL will skip Cotton Bowl. Bearcats favored by 3 points. Ha! Ain't no way of that, Rick. Bryce Young can't skip it anyway because he's not eligible to go pro. Yeah, they gave away a bunch of awards last night. I didn't watch that. That award show is not what it used to be. I think it was all done virtually too. But I was just flipping around the channels. And some news out there. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the transfer portal. The kid from Ohio State, that's from the state of Texas, Ewers, I believe you pronounce his last name. Supposedly he's narrowed his choices to Texas and Texas Tech. We'll see. There's word that Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma may go to South Carolina. And people might want to know why. Well, Shane Beamer obviously has a good relationship with him. So, we'll see. Jacob Copeland, Gator wide receiver, has entered the transfer portal. I don't think that's a big deal, quite honestly. I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on that. I think he was going to be a fifth-year senior. Hadn't done a whole lot in his career, quite honestly. Joseph says your Wi-Fi connection is in and out. That's got to be a Facebook thing. So you can watch us on Facebook. You can also watch us live on YouTube, on Twitter. I think there may be some other venues out there as well. Like I said, we'll be joined by JC here in just a second. Mark says, good morning from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I tune in every day. Love the show. Appreciate it, Mark. Hattiesburg, the Golden Eagles. I don't even know who Southern Miss's coach is right now. Isn't that bad? Joseph says, bye-bye, Jacob. Good riddance. Too much extra stuff with him. Yeah, we'll see where he ends up. I mean, he obviously was a talented kid coming out of the Pensacola area, but never did anything here. And I'm telling you, I think more kids are going to be transferring for sure. and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think we have JC himself.
Yeah.
Good morning, JC. How are you?
Hey guys. Sorry about the few minutes there. I had to take care of some stuff outside, but we're all ready to go. Indoors, nice, warm, and cozy. And it's a beautiful Friday, the eve of Army-Navy, QB. Annual pilgrimage to the Northeast to watch that Army-Navy game. That's going to be great.
What did you watch last night on TV, JC?
So last night I looked at some of that Pittsburgh, Minnesota game for what I could stomach, and it got more interesting in the second half. These Thursday night games are tough for some of these teams. Pittsburgh looked very tired. I also read a lot on Twitter. I read a lot on The Athletic. I love reading The Athletic, QB. But, I'm looking at some of these recruiting stories that are coming around, the transfer portal, some of the things that you probably just got done talking about. And, we're just going to see so many different faces at so many different places. And I guess that's just the way it is in college football,
Yeah, there's talk about Spencer Rattler. I just mentioned maybe going to South Carolina with his relationship with Shane Beamer. So we shall see. When I went to bed, it was 26-0, and the Steelers look like one of the worst football teams I've ever seen.
They were tired. They just looked awful.
Well, the hell with being tired. It's like they never watched tape.
Well,
they just continue to let Jordan Jefferson run wide open the entire game. It blew my mind. I
think it's just a lack of effort. I mean, maybe they didn't look at tape, but I don't think they were trying that hard in the first half either. They got a break in the second, got a fumble or an interception, something like that happened. Before you know it, they scored 2 touchdowns in just 3 minutes, and it got them kind of back into the game. At the end there, they're trying to tie the game, and Claypool gets a first down and does a little first down move, forgetting that the clock is running. Let's get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. I mean, just things like this. I think it's just a lack of attention to detail, and I think some of that is just being tired. Some of that may just not being aware of what he's supposed to do.
I want to ask you real quick, where in the hell are you coming up with being tired? Did you hear this by the commentators on TV last night or something?
No. I'm telling you that when you play a physical game against Baltimore on Sunday.
Okay, hang on back. Let me back up. Let me back up a second.
Thursday football.
How many damn physical football games have you played?
I haven't played them yet.
Okay. Well, my point is, quit reading what the people are saying on Twitter, because that is all that is an excuse. If they were that tired, how in the fourth quarter did they make a run when they would have been tired?
I just told you they had an interception. They scored 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes, but for most of the game, they were not in it, dude. They
weren't prepared. Basically, they were not prepared and ready to play. It's that simple. Tired had nothing to do with it. Tired has nothing to do with getting blown off the ball. And like I said, Jordan Jefferson running crossing routes, which he does every Sunday. And you could have hit him. He was so wide open. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It had nothing to do with tired. You don't think the Vikings were tired? They just lost a game in the last play of the game against the Lions the week before. So too many Twitter excuses there, JC. That's what I'm going to call you. You had too many Twitter excuses. All right. We got some text here I need to read on the Titan MR text line. This is from Daryl. Says, good morning, guys. Shane Jacob Copeland transferring doesn't shock me either, but either buy into the new coach or find somewhere else to play. Yeah. Trust me, we're going to be much better with him not on the roster. I'll just leave it at that. Not sure who this is from, but it says another Alabama jersey. Get so tired of JC and his cheering section for Alabama. This show would never happen in Alabama. You are hurting your brand. I'm ready to turn your show off, and you are my favorite. Hey, I guarantee you, if I was doing this show anywhere in the state of Alabama, people would still watch it if I talked about the Gators. I mean, look, I don't know who this is, but you've got to give them credit for what they're doing. I mean, they just had they're getting ready to have their back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners.
Yeah, I mean,
and their quarterbacks. There are 3 quarterbacks. The last 3 years have all been finalists.
You don't have to like Alabama, but you should respect what they've done.
Coach Spurrier respects the hell out of them, and he's the greatest Gator of all.
Anybody with any common sense and any idea of college football, any clue about college football, has to respect what they've accomplished. It's unbelievable. You won't see this kind of run ever again in all likelihood. But the thing is that you've got these players who were basically counted out in the SEC championship game because of transitive property or whatever rule you want to use, how they looked against Auburn, LSU, Tennessee, whatever, Arkansas. And none of that mattered. And if anybody knows anything about the SEC championship game or college football or rivalries, you should know that they're not going to lay down, not a school like that. And so, respect what they've done, folks. If you can't do it, if you can't deal with it, yeah, I mean, you can go off and, mope around and try to pretend like you're upset about something, but that's fine. I couldn't care less. I graduated from this school. I'm very proud of it. I also went to
what's weird, JC?
Florida. I also went to University of Florida too. Okay, so I went to both schools. So whatever.
Here's
if the
what's
Gators
strange.
were playing Cincinnati, I'd be wearing an orange and blue sweatshirt.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I read this on Twitter where you love to get information too, and I can't remember how it was phrased, that with Alabama winning the SEC title the other day, they finally surpassed the Gators, I think, since 1990 in SEC championships. Is that correct?
That doesn't make any sense at all.
It seems because that would have been Florida. I think has 9 SEC titles since.
Well, I mean, maybe that's true. I mean, Florida racked them up in the 90s.
That's what that. Yeah, I should have screenshotted it, but I didn't.
Well, it
real
could
quick.
be. I mean, that could be. That could be. Florida was a 90s decade team, but in that decade, they had one championship. So, I mean, you can run around talking about it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the difference.
They got bigger fish to fry.
Here's the difference, too, though. Back then, Florida would have had opportunities way more to play for it if they had the playoff system.
Okay. Fair.
John asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. He could be wrong, but wasn't that the last Thursday night football game on Fox? Isn't Amazon taking over now? This is something that you would know. I have no idea.
Well, I watched it on NFL Network, so
he said, but
Fox announcers,
Fox and NFL Network, I think, are going away, and Amazon's going to be doing the game, whatever that means.
I mean, okay, that's probably a fact that's that matters to some other folks, but it's Thursday night. I get the remote. I go NFL football. Boom, there it is, and there's the game. Now remember in the 2009 year, and the 2011 year, and the 2012 year, Alabama didn't have a playoff. It was the BCS. So you're talking about the playoffs. That's been 7. This is going to be the 7th time. 7 years is all it is, and they've played in 6 of them. So, go ahead. I mean, if this is ruining the brand of the show, I'm happy to ruin it. I mean, that's fine.
Turn your car or truck into a rolling billboard for your business or brand with an eye-catching vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot this December. Mention promo code Shane. Receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Speaking with JC, we got Joe Cowart from 1010XL. The second portion, talking Jaguars, Gators, and the PGA Tour. He's always on the call every week. JC, did you see where what?
No, I'm listening.
What were you going to ask?
No. You said.
Did you see the half-court shot that Rutgers hit?
Rutgers. So what I liked even better was this reaction of a fan who was watching from the crowd, and he's watching, and there goes Purdue scoring with 5 seconds left, and an expletive comes out of his mouth, which made me laugh. And then he's following, and he's looking, and he goes up like this. And then all chaos breaks loose because the shot went in from just about half court. So it was a beautiful scene. That's what you got to love about basketball, right? I mean, that kind of thing just rallies everybody. And Kevin Brockway had a tweet, the old Gainesville Sun sports writer, who's now up in Indianapolis covering Indiana. And Kevin Brockway goes, Texas Southern beat Florida, who beat Ohio State, who beat Duke. Lafayette beat Rutgers, who beat Purdue. This is college basketball in 21-22. So, you just never know when you hit the hard court how it's going to play out in some cases. And how about Rutgers? They lose to Lafayette. and then they go out and beat the number 1 ranked Boilers.
They've lost to a bunch of teams. They were like under 500, I believe.
And then they go and beat Purdue, who's a very, very solid team, unbeaten before last night, losing on a buzzer beater. So basketball is great when it gets to things like this, and you have drama. I think that's what I like about it the most. Yeah,
there's no question. Real quick, we got another text here on the Titan MR text line. Let's see who it's from. Doesn't say. It says, good luck to Copeland. Never lived up to the hype. Never as good as he thought he was. Never understood how he deserved to wear number 1. I agree with all that. Here's what I don't understand. The whole number 1 deal is dumb to me. Because here, if you're the best player on the football team, or I don't know how they come about it, you probably grew up wearing a number. But why not just wear the damn number you had? I don't get the big deal about wearing number 1. Makes no sense.
I like it. I mean, I don't care what number he wears. We had another award seasons going on right now, and Bryce Young's cleaning up on some awards, and Jordan Davis of Georgia had an award. This is the time you recognize these great players, and then tomorrow's Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
Well, let's just say though, let's say Alabama had lost. And he still had those numbers. Would it still matter, you think? Or would he have got?
No.
You think? Okay, so let's say he had a pedestrian kind of game. Let me ask it this way: who's going to come in second? How about
that? Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Okay.
That's who would be my second choice.
If you had a ballot, you'd have Bryce Young, Kenny Pickett, and you get 3.
Maybe the running back from Michigan State. I don't know. There's been nobody playing that great this year.
Well, I thought that Hutchinson was pretty good at Michigan.
No. He don't even need to be there. He doesn't need to be there.
But he was invited, so he got to.
I don't know why. And nothing against defensive players. This is not taking shots at defensive players, but he has zero business being there for the Heisman Trophy ceremony.
Well, give me a reason why you say that.
Because he plays defense.
Well, so does Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson scored touchdowns, JC. This guy ain't scored any damn touchdowns.
Well, linemen don't score like guys.
Well, that's his fault. If he's going to be up for the Heisman, he needs to score touchdowns. Not his fault.
He's a lineman.
Well, that's his fault. He can be up for the Nagurski and all those awards. He does not, in my opinion, he shouldn't be there. And I'm not saying it's an offensive award, but he is not he's a very good player, but he is not the best player in college football.
How about Will Anderson? Should Will Anderson be there?
He should be there before the other guy.
Okay. Well, they have very similar stats. In fact, Anderson's are better than Aiden Hutchinson's. Tackles for loss.
The Kenneth Walker kid should have been invited.
The Michigan State running back.
Yes.
So why wasn't he? I mean, what happened to him? Was it the Ohio State game or what was it?
I have no idea. He still ran for a bunch of yards against them.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of surprised by that too, actually, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I mean,
we know who's going to win it, and it's good for them. I mean, good for that kid. He came from California saying.
Well, what's interesting is, unfortunately, you weren't around for the Alabama game when because I'm tailgating at our spot, and next thing I know, I turn around, there's this dude wearing an Alabama number 9 jersey. He just rolled up. He just rolled up on our tailgate, and it was Bryce Young's dad.
Yeah, how about
and he hung out with us because Malachi Moore's aunt was in the same area somehow. They all ended up at our tailgate. And then they left, and then you showed up, and you missed out, or you could have got some autographs.
Well, I did meet Malachi's dad when I showed up, so I had a good time showing up to that tailgate. That was a fun day. QB, but California is interesting. You made a point that Lincoln Riley's going to go clean up at USC, take all these California players, all these great. A lot of California players leave California.
Well,
it's just
they've
such
been going to Oklahoma.
Well, they've also gone to Alabama too,
right?
And so there's some other places. But, college football, there's somewhat of an apathy to college football in California, if you get my drift. And if Riley's going to succeed, he's going to have to do it at home and show the folks there in L.A. that they can stay there, just like what Miami's going to try to do with Mario. And by the way, speaking of Mario, he's coming down there known as a great recruiter. but he doesn't have a football stadium on campus, and students have to drive about an hour or 45 minutes to get to a game, and that's a problem for them. But they just hired the Clemson athletic director, and they are paying him $3 million. So they are now making an investment in their program. I think they're going to try to figure out a way to build an on-campus facility. I don't know how many years that'll take, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, but they are investing now in football because Miami's problem has been all the former players and all the superstars from the past think they can run the program, and the program's leadership has not really invested in the program. They recycle coaches and they try to make the story that, well, we're trying here at Miami, we'll find somebody else who can maybe win. Former players haven't done it, former this, former that. I think now with the investment of money and the fact that they get this money from a network because their name is part of a conference, where does it all go? Why don't they have the investment? And I think Miami's turning the corner now, realizing that if they're going to win in football, they have to invest in the program. And I think it's going to get better at Miami.
We got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Melton Law. Rick says, SEC appearances since 1992. Bama 14, Gators 13. That's crazy. Ryan says, number 99 from Georgia definitely shouldn't be in consideration. He did absolutely nothing against Bama. His work ethic or lack of effort is pathetic. He is just engaged with the O-line and stood up and watched. Here's the thing, though, Ryan. He's a damn good player. Alabama took him out of the game by throwing the football. When he goes to the NFL, he's going to be a first down player only, maybe second down, but he will never be in the game on third down because he can't rush the passer. Chip Kelly's thinking about going back to Oregon. That'll be interesting.
Retread. It's just a retread. If I were Oregon, I wouldn't even look at him. I would think that, he had his shot. He did okay, but that wouldn't get me fired.
Well, he took him to the national title game. He's the only coach who's done anything with them, honestly.
Yeah, no, I see your point. I do. I mean, I don't know if a rerun would be great. Maybe it would. I don't know. But see, he's kind of after he left Oregon, I think things got exposed. I mean, Chip Kelly kind of got figured out. He got figured out in the NFL. It's never effective. And at UCLA, I don't know. I mean, he's got the Los Angeles area. He's got the brand UCLA and all this. And they're just average. I mean, they're nothing special. So.
Yeah, so we just got another text on the Titan MR text line referring to it was SEC championship game appearances that Bama surpassed Florida this year, which still surprises me.
Well, it's since 2008, my man, like I said, it's a run you won't ever see again.
Well, no, I'm just saying since the SEC championship game was born in 92, it's hard to believe that Alabama's only been one more time than Florida. It seemed like y'all been like every year, but
the 90s, in the 90s, the early 90s, it was Florida's league. Tennessee, Auburn dominated a lot of that.
Bama was still going. Bama was still in the SEC championship game. They just weren't winning.
Well, in 92, they
won in 92, but then they lost in 93, 94, 95, and 96.
Okay.
So anyway. We had somebody else calling.
Well, I guess what I'm saying that in the 2000 area, from 2000 up to 2008, they were kind of non-existent.
Yeah. All right, JC, are we doing Peachland Dentistry?
I got some NFL games if you want to go.
All right, well, let's roll them out. This is Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. Let's see what you got. I got a 3 or 4 game lead.
You got a 3-game lead after my spectacular 8-3 week last weekend. So you are up 3 games, and now we're going to do NFL and bowl games. We're going to do those as we roll.
Bowl games already?
No, we're not going to do bowl games now. We're going to do bowl games throughout the rest of the month and into June. Then the NFL playoffs. Okay, Baltimore, Cleveland, big game. Cleveland had a week off last week. They are 2.5-point favorites. I don't know if they're healthy or not. You can never tell these NFL teams who's going to play and who's not going to play until game day, literally. So, and who is playing, who is healthy, right? Are they 100%? Are they 80%? Cleveland is laying 2.5, and I'm liking them at home. I think they'll run all over Baltimore.
I like the Cleveland Browns as well.
Okay, Dallas at Washington. Washington is getting 4.5. Seems like a lot of points. Washington's playing really good football here of late. Defensively, they are really stout, as we all know. And they are 500 at 7-7. They are trying to make a run for the wild card. Dallas is trying to close out the division. Who do you like there? That's 4.5 points.
I like the Redskins. I think they're the better football team.
The risk. All right. Yeah. You know what? Shockingly, I'm going to agree with you. That's too many points. Kansas City, right here, Chiefs, laying 10 against the Vegas Raiders at home. I love the way Kansas City's playing, but that's too many points. And this is a kind of a, believe it or not, a rivalry in the NFL. And I like the 10 points. Give me Vegas.
All right, I'll take the Chiefs.
All right, here we have my Jaguars at Tennessee minus 8.5. Why is it only 8.5, QB?
Who is this again?
Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Well, what is Tennessee's record? They're 8-4. Jaguars are bad. We're going to talk to Joe Cowart about that in a minute. I'm taking the Titans. No, they don't. I don't even know who their running back is.
How many NFL games you want to do, QB?
It doesn't matter.
Buffalo is at Tampa.
Who did you take?
I'm sorry. I took Tennessee minus 8.5.
All right, real quick. Let me read this Facebook Live brought to you by Melvin Law from Daniel. It says, QB, I'm so glad Florida didn't land Chip Kelly when they had the chance.
Oof.
He's not as good a coach as people make him out to be. When he was at Oregon, who couldn't win there? Talk about a conference where defense doesn't exist. Yeah, I mean, I think Chip Kelly's a good coach, but I just think the Pac-12 is just awful. I think it's absolutely awful. I think that's why Lincoln Riley is going to run it. He decides to go coach the Raiders.
Conference of Champions. All right.
Yeah.
Buffalo is at
When's the last time them damn guys won a championship in any sport?
Hey, listen.
Softball, maybe? UCLA?
They're probably good at women's tennis and men's tennis, whatever.
We won men's tennis last year.
Yeah.
They ain't won a damn thing other than softball in that
water
conference.
polo, lacrosse. All right. Buffalo at
rowing, crew.
Soccer. Buffalo at Tampa Bay minus 3.5.
Buffalo at Tampa Bay.
And by the way, QB, if soccer is
that tells you something right there.
Yeah, I like that pick too. Damn, I was hoping you'd take Tampa. Here's
so who
one.
did you take?
I took Buffalo. Gosh, we're almost too similar here. Only one difference. Here's one. Cincinnati at home against the 49ers, and the Bengals are getting 1.5. The Bengals at home got blown out last week. Playing the desperate 49ers.
That makes absolutely no sense.
1.5 Cincinnati plus 1.5. San Francisco's
I'm going to take the Who Day, the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals. All right, I'll just be different and take San Francisco. I don't. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to do that. That's what you do. I'm taking Cincinnati. All right, let's do this one. How about the Jets getting 5.5 against the Saints? QB. The Jets getting 5.5 against the Saints at New York.
Oh,
tough.
Jets played better last week, didn't they? Win? They won 3 games somehow.
They've won 3, but they lost last
Saints
week.
are a bad football team right now. They have no quarterback play. I'll take the Jets.
Yep, 5.5 is a good number there. I like this one too.
Who did you take?
I took the Jets. The Rams are playing the Cardinals. I know you'll take the Cardinals here. It's only a 2.5 point spread, so that surprises me. I would have thought it'd been 4 or 5. Cardinals on a roll, maybe the best team in football. Clearly,
yep.
I think with Murray playing, I don't understand this line at all. I don't know why it's 2.5. I can't think the Rams are going to win this game. I'm taking Arizona. They dominated the Rams.
Well, that's who I picked. So we got all the same games pretty much.
All right. Well, here's one Here's one we'll differ on. We'll differ on this one. The Denver Broncos laying 10 to the Detroit Lions in Denver. The Detroit Lions who got off the skid last week.
Okay, I'm gonna let you pick somebody, and I'm gonna take.
I'm gonna take Denver laying 10 against Detroit.
All right, I'll take the Lions.
Yep. And
okay, we got to pick Army Navy.
Army is laying 7. This is Commander in Chief world right here. Navy is getting 7 points. I've got to take the Army. I always take the Army. You take.
All right, I think Army's going to win, but I think it's going to be like a 13-12 game, and I think Navy will lose.
Would you take the over 34?
No.
You take the under 34?
I wouldn't. I mean, that is so low. That game, I told you, if it's not on CBS, it's over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But since it's on CBS, it's going to take 3 hours because of all the
last pick for you, QB. Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay is laying 12.5. I think that's the Monday night game, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
12.5 against your Bears.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay Packers.
Okay, yeah.
Blowout city.
No quarterback. It's really amazing how some of these NFL teams have 0 quarterback play. It's just so bad, and that's It's going to cost Matt Nagy his job. He's not going to be there next year.
Nope, probably not. Gators play basketball tomorrow. Play Maryland.
Yeah,
if you want to tune in for that.
Oh, that's a road game, isn't it? Up there.
I think it's at a neutral site game, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. JC, let me read This Day in Sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience, great culture, and benefits. $1,000 signing bonus for qualified folks. Give them a call, 352-376-2366. This Day in Sports. Who won the 1994 Heisman Trophy? You know, JC?
Oh, my God.
Running back. I was a former teammate of him in the National Football League.
You were a former teammate of him? Okay, so that would be, let me think, who played there? Heisman Trophy in 94. Golly. And you were a former teammate, so that means he was either with the Bengals or the Bears or the Panthers. Shucks. George Rogers.
Oh my God! First of all, I didn't play for the Saints, and I was watching George Rogers when I was a young tyke in Mississippi.
I was just
it's the 60th Heisman Trophy award to Rashaan Salaam.
Oh, Colorado
Buffalo.
Yeah, I did. So he did. He played at Chicago. That's correct.
Yeah, first round draft pick, and then he's dead now.
He is.
I can't.
And what
about? He died years ago.
How about poor Demarius Thomas yesterday? Did you hear that?
I did.
33 years old. What? 33 years old? Dear God. I mean, that's a fluke. I don't know what happened. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's terrible. Basketball plays in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. On the road up in Brooklyn, New York, to play the Terrapins. That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff,
well,
JC. Have a great weekend, and don't worry about it. It's okay. You can wear your Alabama stuff here. You're going to be okay.
Well, I wear everything, right? But when this team is playing for something and you're going to have a Heisman Trophy winner, you better recognize that. I think it's a good.
Are you going to buy your number 9 Alabama jersey to wear?
No, but I'm proud of that kid, man. Sophomore, he'll be back next year too. How about that?
Yep, he's a good one. All right, JC, that's JC. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. Going to take a timeout. Come back. We'll be joined by Joe Cowart of 1010XL, talking Jaguars, JC's Jaguars, who are just god-awful. We'll talk about the Gators as well and get his thoughts on the PGA Tour. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. At South State Bank, we understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, Banking Forward, member FDIC. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan More Hotline. We're waiting on Joe Cowart to join us. As soon as he pops on here, give me your Jaguar questions, folks. I know y'all are anxious to talk Jaguars today. Let's see who. Jags are playing at Tennessee. Jags are sitting at 2-10. Let's see. They beat the Buffalo Bills somehow. And who else did they beat? I can't remember. But the NFL is a crazy business. Who would have ever thought the Jaguars would beat the Buffalo Bills? I think they've won both their games at home, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's got to be somebody out there that knows their Jaguar football. But I think we got Joe right now. Evan, do we have Joe? Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good, Shane. What's going on a Friday?
Not much, buddy. We're joined by Joe Cowart from 1010XL. You can listen to Joe every weekday over there in the Jacksonville area from noon to 3 on XL Prime Time. I want to get you on today. You know, we don't talk a whole lot of pro football on my show, but are the Jaguar fans fed up with the Jaguars again?
Yeah, that last word you said, Shane, was the key word, again. You know, it's as soon as you said that, it reminded me of Mick Hubert's call when Florida was dominating Georgia, and Florida beats Georgia again. And that's what Jacksonville's going through, man. This has been season after season after season of losing. And just to put it in context, with Shad Khan taking over the team, he bought it in late 2011 and took over officially as in an NFL season in 2012. And this team has gotten to the 100 loss mark faster than any other franchise in the Super Bowl era. Think about that. They have gone through 10 of 11 losing double-digit loss seasons in over a decade. So enter Urban Meyer. What's going to happen? He's going to save the franchise. They're going to run Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell out. He's going to come in. What is he? He's the winningest college football coach walking the planet by percentage. And you're thinking he's going to come in and save this franchise. Well, you know as well as I do, as well as every other Jaguar fan out there, it has not happened. And I think the thing that's most alarming, Shane, is that he doesn't look like the maniacal guy that can respond to challenges. He can show his ability to motivate players. He can become a detailed freak, but still get the results that he's looking for. None of that exists right now in Jacksonville, and the fans they're ready to jump ship. They really are right now.
Wow. So Joe, I think last week, James Robinson, probably the best player on the Jaguars, apparently fumbles early in the game and doesn't play again until late. And that just sounds to me the old college tactic, we're going to protect the football or you're not going to play. Have they addressed that? And I want to say Urban talked about he thought he was still hurt or what have you, but basically he benched the kid, right?
Yeah, he benched him, and he's not handling this thing well at all. And your college reference, I think, is spot on. All right, so here's what's happened. Back-to-back weeks, James Robinson has coughed up the football. After he's fumbled, he was sent to the bench 2 Sundays ago for 16 plays. And this is a football team that does not have very good players. Like you said, he is the best player on this football team, the most experienced, the most results-based guy that you can point to and say, hey, he's not screwing his job up. Everyone else is, but he's not. So, okay, he coughs up the football. I think Pro Football Focus put out the stat that he had toted the ball 238 times before he fumbled for the first time. So then back-to-back weeks he fumbles, and again, Herb puts him on the bench. Now here's the problem, Shane. This is the part that nobody can quite figure out. Go back 2 Sundays ago, he was asked about Robinson being sat down after the first fumble, and he said that's up to Bev and Bernie. That's Darrell Bevel, his offensive coordinator, and Bernie Parmalee, his running backs coach. So he's suggesting those guys make the decision on rotation. Then you go back to this past week, and they're in a football game against the Rams. It was 13-7 when he coughed up, or actually he coughed up the football early, but you get my point. It was a close game, and they bench him again. And so it doesn't make any sense to sit down your best guy. Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback, spoke up for James Robinson. I guess it was Wednesday. and said, hey, he is one of our best options on offense. We need to have him on the football field. So there's a little bit of a flap going on right now with this football team.
Yeah, the old college stuff is not going to work at that level. The motivational tactics and things of that nature, it does not work in an NFL locker room at all. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, I think he's had some good moments, some bad moments. You watch every game, Joe. I don't. How do you think he's played so far? I mean, obviously he's on a bad football team. I still think he's got a chance to be a really good pro. Just your assessment of how he's played so far.
Yeah, you've played a lot of football. You've been around a lot of good rosters and maybe some suspect rosters, and he is dealing with a bad bunch right now. Now, he's not exempt from blame. He certainly has started to press a little bit more. He's made some bad decisions with the football. But if you go back, I want to say the number in the beginning of the year, he threw 7 picks in the first 3 football games. So he was real loose with the football, trying to make a big play. The adage was used back then. He was trying to score twice with every throw because he was just trying to make the big play. And he cleaned that up, didn't cough up the football nearly as much over the handful of games to follow. But he's now feeling like the pocket's closing in on him and his receivers are not separating. So if you've got a quality quarterback like Trevor Lawrence and you don't have a whole lot of good around him, it's just natural that he's going to press. And you look at this receiving core, they can't separate, and it's causing him some frustration. Then you take the whole James Robinson saga and you put the guy that should be at least providing a little balance to this offense. He's sitting on the sidelines, and then all of a sudden everyone's expecting Trevor to make plays. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's just reached a point where he's looking around for answers, and there aren't any. They don't have a balanced offense, Shane. They don't have a real identity on offense. And so it's just coming apart at the seams right now.
The Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. A few more minutes here with Joe Cowart. You can listen to him every weekday, noon to 3 on 1010XL. Follow him on Twitter at 1010XLJoeC. All right, Joe, we got a text on the Titan text line. It comes from George. George wants to know, 2-part question. It's a long one here. I'm just paraphrasing. Basically, he wants to know, is Urban the head coach of the Jags next year? And if so, is Dan Mullen calling the plays?
Yeah, $1 million question on the first one. I'm going to say no to Dan Mullen, and I'm down on Dan right now just because of the way things, how they unraveled so quickly down in Gainesville. And I can't. First off, I don't believe that the relationship between Urban and Dan is solid. I'm not going to say that they don't like one another, but I'm also going to say they're not chummy. And so I don't think Urban would necessarily reach to Dan first. Now, the other part of that is that there probably are going to be offensive assistants that are going to be leaving. There's probably going to be a lot of assistants that are going to be leaving. He hired 30 coaches here, and there's already talk maybe Tosh LaPoy could be headed to join Billy Napier down in Gainesville. Tyler Bowen is his tight ends coach. He's going to go to Virginia Tech at the end of the season and be the offensive coordinator up at Virginia Tech. And I suppose it's possible that Dan Mullen could be reunited, but I think Jaguar fans would not like that at all. To the Urban question, he's showing some real weird signs right now as far as just not looking the part. So I would not be surprised if at the end of the season he says, you know what, I can't do this. I am letting this franchise down. I'm going to up and walk away. I don't expect that to happen. I don't expect Shad Khan to fire him, but you never know with Herb when he wants to hit that eject button. That's for sure.
Wouldn't that be something? All right, Joe, let's switch gears a little bit. Gators have a new ball coach with Billy Napier. Just your thoughts. Do you like the hire?
I do, because I think they need to get a guy that is at the core of him as a coach is a good recruiter. And so I'm not going to say that if you look at all the other coaching hires that Florida won the coaching derby, but I do like this guy with pedigree under Dabo Swinney, under Nick Saban. I like what he stands for. we had the play-by-play guy on from Louisiana on our show, Shane. And the one thing he did say, and I don't know whether Gator fans are going to like it or not, but he basically said, this guy's not going to run out and try and get every 5-star. He may get a 2 or 3-star that he believes is committed to the football team, committed to his teammates, and can become a good player over time in that uniform. And so I think Billy comes in and can establish a quality, a standard, an expectation, all those things that basically say, hey, you come here, you buy in, and you look at your teammate and you play hard for him just like you play hard for yourself. And I think we could all agree that Dan Mullen, heck, you can even go back before that. There have been a couple coaches there that haven't got all out of their guys that they need to get out of their guys. And I think Billy Napier does represent that. I'm guessing, just like a lot of other people are, but I think he represents a guy or a style where he can come in, he can charm a player to buying into a football program and going out there and kicking butt.
Yep, for sure. But he will get 5 stars here. It's almost impossible to get a 5-star to go to Louisiana. But I do think he'll get 5 stars here. Joe, before we let you go, you also do a lot of radio for the PGA Tour. Correct me if I'm wrong. I follow golf. I mostly watch the majors, but I watch other tournaments as well. I could have sworn when the PGA Tour Championship ended, like was it September, August? I can't remember. Those guys got a couple months off, and then the tour started back in Hawaii with all the guys that won a tournament. What are all these other tournaments going on right now? I'm confused.
It's changed, man. It definitely has changed. Let me just tell you something. I host the international television for the PGA Tour, and we do 47 events a year. My wife will be able to inform you on how many weekends I work because let me just describe it to you. FedEx Cup, they crown a tour champion, a FedEx Cup champion in late August. They moved it up because of football. Football just wins every ratings point in the fall, so they moved it up and they crowned their champion in August. You ready for this, bro? I get 1 weekend off, and then a new season starts. And so they have all these other events that go from September. The last one is this Saturday, this weekend, which is the QB shootout, which doesn't necessarily count as part of the schedule. But my point is that it's called a wraparound schedule, basically from September to August every year.
Wow, that's crazy. And so, but you do all your broadcasting from a studio, correct?
Yeah, PGA Tour Entertainment, which is right here in the World Golf Village, and we kick out. Our broadcast goes to 226 countries worldwide. So there are a lot of people consuming a lot of golf. That's for sure.
Now, since you're not on the course commentating, do you have do you whisper when you're on the air?
I still sound like a play-by-play. Let's go out to 18. But we have a full director's team. We have, I want to say, 12 to 14 cameras that we are all linked to. We do have 1 or 2 individuals walking the course. We have sound guys, camera guys. We got all kinds of stuff. It's a high-level operation, and it's pretty cool how many people, like as an example, PGA Tour Live, which is one of the things that we do, they'll do a featured group and a featured hole for morning tee times and for afternoon tee times. And people globally, because you can imagine somebody is waking up in Asia and wanting to see someone, that they root for. So it's golf around the clock in our building.
That's awesome. Okay, so when is the first official event that counts for FedEx Cup points start?
So the next one is the tournament, Century Tournament of the Champions in Hawaii. So that was like, as you said, that was when we used to kick off the season. And so that's the next one, which will be early January. But then the FedEx Cup points went all the way to the RSM Classic up in St. Simon's Island a week before Thanksgiving.
I played that course about 2 weeks before they had that event there, because that's where Danny Werfel had his Desire Cup tournament in Florida, Georgia. And that's a beautiful, beautiful golf course. There's no question about it.
Gosh, it's awesome. Plantation and Seaside. And I know did the Gators win that Desire Cup, by the way?
Yeah, we did. We didn't win the football game, but we won the golf. All right, Joe, I appreciate it. Let everybody know how they can listen to your show every day.
Yeah, 1010XL.com. You can stream us on demand at 1010XL Joe C, and we're noon to 3. And appreciate all of our Gator fans chiming in and listening to us.
Joe, appreciate it, buddy. Take care.
All right, dude. Talk to you later.
Yep, that's Joe Cowart joining us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. We're going to take our final time out, come back, wrap up this Friday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Celebration Points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinemas, Le Macaron, Dave & Buster's, Medici's, Palmetto Moon, and the HBC's restaurant Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturday and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank JC and Joe Cowart for joining us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. Got a bunch of Facebook Lives brought to you by Meldon Law I want to get to. Eddie says the urban experience is a bust. He's got to go, and he's a quitter. Well, there's a lot of talk around there that he ain't going to make it after this year. Eddie also says 2 and 3 stars won't work in the SEC. We've been down that road. I think what Joe was referring to when the play-by-play guy from Louisiana was on their show, of course, there are no 4 and 5 stars are going to go play at Louisiana, but he's taken 2 and 3 stars and really turned them into good players. Billy will get top-notch players here eventually. Todd says on the Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, Herb was given a 5-year deal for a reason. It would take anyone more than 8 months to change the culture of what the Jags created. Taking a 1-win team in 2020 with a rookie quarterback will take 2 to 3 years. Year 3 will be the test. The culture's the problem, though. He can't get away with that college mentality in NFL locker room, and we're going to find out. That's why they didn't get any big-name free agents to sign with the Jaguars. Guys are going to take less money to go places where it's run like an NFL franchise and where they have a chance of winning. So that's the biggest concern in Jacksonville if you're a Jaguar fan. How do you attract top-notch players? Money goes a long ways in the NFL, but winning goes a little bit farther. Joseph says Napier said in his opening presser that if they don't sign 25 quality recruits, that UF will be looking for another coach again. Not sure about 2 or 3 stars. Yeah, y'all misunderstood that, I believe. Louisiana got 2 and 3 stars, maybe 1 stars. He knows he's got to go get some big-time players. May not happen this year. Eventually, it will for sure. There's no doubt about that. Don't forget, folks, if you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics. Give them a call, 352-400-4550. I'm not sure what Tim is asking here. What is that? The Titans. I don't know what that means. But anyway, hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Take care.
1st and 10. Matthews, near side, wide open, Alonzo Sullivan. He may go. Touchdown, Gators.